Alright guys, this is it. The first year of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs has come to an end, and I just want to say thank you again for everybody who has watched the vlogs and has given them a chance. I'm not going to make this video, at least this part, too long because I've got about an hour and 18 minutes worth of this whole past year to bring you guys in this video. So again, I just want to say thank you so much. I wasn't quite sure how the vlogs were going to be received by everybody after doing Mike's Vehicle Spotlight for so long, but it looks like, as I was doing the vlogs, it looks like I was actually pulling in the views a little bit more and more, so I think the vlogs on certain topics are definitely being received in a positive way, and I just want to thank everybody who has given the vlog series a chance, and just in general, thank you so much for watching. I hope that these videos are still entertaining to you, and I hope to continue to make these videos entertaining for you in one way or another. So if you haven't already, don't forget to thumbs up the videos, don't forget to leave your comments, and also subscribe to this channel. I also have Mike's Vehicle Spotlight, which hasn't really been in production a whole lot recently, but I'll get to those reasons and such in the next video, which is going to be an update basically on what I have planned for the next year for the vlog series and for Mike's Vehicle Spotlight. So stay tuned to that vlog. That'll probably be up real shortly. In a day or so I will have that video uploaded as well. But in the meantime, if you're new to this channel and you haven't seen any of the old vlogs, or you haven't seen any of the past, anything that I've done before you started watching, this video is basically just recapping the entire year's worth of vlogs that I have filmed from episode 1 up into the very last episode, which was number 88. Wow, 88 vlogs in an entire year. That's actually pretty good. That's more than a year's worth, to be honest with you. If I was doing it once a week, you figure probably 52 vlogs. So I got about maybe a year and a half, roughly, of vlogs worth in a whole year. So that's pretty awesome. So if you have the time, please watch this video and just kind of recap all. We'll go through every vlog briefly, and you get to see what we were dealing with at that particular time. And you can also head back to watch that vlog if it was something that you missed or something that seems to interest you. So if you've got the time, please stick around and let's watch exactly what took place over the entire first year of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. My content has evolved in more ways than ever throughout the lifespan of the channel. I've decided to start a series called Mike's Vehicle Vlogs, and I've kind of thought about it over the last couple of days, and I decided to give it a shot.
Tranny fluid. It's red.
I just picked up the Malibu, and yep, she's all fixed now. So both the cooling line, the return line, both of them were pretty bad. I saw them both, so yeah, they were in real bad shape, completely rusted through. That first car is something special. So my very first car was a 1994 Pontiac Sunbird LE. It always started for me. Okay, so it says we're about 14 right now. Of course, the car hasn't been moved. It sat all night. It's the first start of the day. Slow crankage. Myself and my brother went to check out the then new 2004 Pontiac GTO. and it was actually filmed inside the showroom of the Pontiac dealership.
Huh? You're good.
Eyewitness 33 is coming in next.
The van was a 1995 Plymouth Voyager, and I don't think, well, I know there was never an abbreviation after the name Voyager on the back of it, so I know it wasn't Nessie, it wasn't an Ellie, it was probably just the base Voyager, from my understanding. The minivan was probably about 3 years old when we got it. I don't remember the exact mileage, but one of the pictures that I do have, it's in like the 50,000 mile range. So there probably was not a whole lot of mileage on it when we got it.
Don't look hard to change though. You got one bolt here that pulls this seal off. Of course you have to drain the air conditioning again. I don't know, it must bolt on from the inside because...
If you've been a fan of my channel or my series long enough, you know that this video was coming. The Aztek was considered to be a SRV, which stood for Sport Recreational Vehicle. You take a look at an Aztek and you see how, eccentric it looks. Cars today, they kind of have what the Aztek had back then, and the Aztek would seem to be the only thing that had what it had. This is what it looked like when I used to drive the Aztek. Farewell, my friend. You've been great, and I will miss you. Aside from that, this is 2004, so you're going to see some cars that were like, super tuned or whatnot. I don't even know if that's what the correct term is anymore, but, back in the day when Pimp My Ride was popular and you had cars that, had really awesome rims and NOS.
Too dark.
I'm actually going to go check up on the Malibu to see exactly how the oil level's been doing, especially with the seafoam in there. I'm kind of curious to see how that looks. I'm at the McDonald's where all of the high school kids seem to hang out. This seems to be the hot spot nowadays. Thanks, you too. I haven't eaten all day. Wow. Alright, so right now it is still full. It's gonna drip. Still full, so that's good. Here's my first look of the car. I liked it. I like this car a lot. I'm very impressed with what Chevy has done with this car. It's a really good car. I wouldn't mind driving one of these every day. We actually obtained another Plymouth Voyager.
Did you notice something wrong with that?
My back seat sucks. It hurts.
I know, they're hard. My first.
Oil looks pretty clean.
Really?
No danger. Lobes look good on the cam. Not much wear on them. Cam bearings look good.
I saw it back here and I was like, this looks pretty sharp. Take a look at it, see if maybe it's something I could consider. It's got 86,000 miles on it.
Going from that to this was an easy leap.
Obviously a very noticeable leap, but still, even after having it for over a year, I haven't noticed anything really bad about it.
Do you ever have moments of road rage? Or do you think you do?
I like to imagine I'm pretty contained. Come on!
And still trying to keep up. But yeah, I'm like, you know, I really haven't slipped or slid forward, you know, or anything like that. It works out really well. It takes a while to get used to though, especially with analog, because I'm used to, you know, obviously controlling my own brakes. So this is the heat on full blast right now. I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to fix this.
And that's Oscar. His head used to bobble, but it broke. So now he just always looks at me like he's concerned.
Yes, the Pontiac Grand Am. I am specifically fascinated with the final generation Grand Am, which is the 1999 to 2005 Grand Am models. So yeah, like when we were with my aunt, you know, all the time, like, you know, she would take us to, you know, get, you know, food, or like I said, to the movies or such. So I mean, you know, I spent a lot of time with this Grand Am, and I was always excited just to be in the car, and I just, you know, enjoyed the car in general.
So what are you doing? And Bobby's really moving! He's really driving the car!
This is probably the last drive in the 99 Toyota Corolla. So earlier today, Julie and myself decided that it was time to, you know, replace the Corolla. Oh wow!
He's really stuck on there.
No, he's off. That was some good stuff.
I know, right?
Okay, so there's Oscar.
Did I have Oscar? You having separation issues?
Not really. I mean, I did like the car, but
The other one's so much nicer.
So this is a 2015 Ford Fiesta SE, and you know, I honestly didn't think that her and I were gonna come home with a car at all, to be honest with you, but let alone a car that is this new and in this perfect condition. You barely even have to turn the wheel. It's awesome. Not a lot of effort at all. Here we go. Look at that. Whoop. Barely have to turn anything. You ready to try cruise control?
I guess.
Okay. Remember how I told you how to use it?
Hit on.
Hit on,
Yeah.
and then when you get to whatever speed you want, hit set. Okay, now take your foot off.
I don't like it.
You don't.
Boy, that's sharp.
Do you like driving on roads like this? Do you ever? You do?
I like out in the country, and I like I like the country look. I like being outdoors. So I especially like to look at houses, but I really like to look at houses. I should be sitting in that seat, not in this one.
I'm going to see how fast I can master driving a stick shift.
Like just let off the clutch a little bit, and then you can feel it. Like
Yeah, you're gonna start.
yeah, you can definitely feel it. Let it out a little bit. There you go.
Ah, I stalled it. This car actually drives really nice though.
I like it a lot. It's really smooth. It's definitely really smooth.
It is. I'm really surprised. This is the first time I've ever actually driven a
Really?
Volkswagen, like for real. Wearing your seatbelt, is it more so for safety or is it like a comfort thing?
I think it's definitely more for safety, and I just always want to make sure that like I'm safe and whoever is in the car with me has it on too, so they are safe too.
You make sure that other people wear the seatbelts?
Yeah.
Now, are you one of the people like say Julie back there? If Julie's not wearing her seatbelt, are you going to stop the car and demand that she put the seatbelt on before you start driving again?
I probably should have done that before. Sorry, Julie.
No, I don't think there is one. I checked when we first got
I
in.
lied. Sorry, I lied on the vlog. Sorry.
No,
Next question, do you always stop your car in the middle of the street? And get out?
Car behind us. Oh my God. All right. I gotta put my seatbelt on, guys. Safety. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. Let's roll.
Something's rubbing up against the tires, obviously. So I get out of the car, and sure enough, the driver's side splash guard that they put inside the wheel well, there's a piece of plastic up in there. It's like a splash guard. Well, it had come down completely, and it was pretty much rubbing the entire top half of the tire. I actually just pulled it off from underneath, and sure enough, when I pulled it off, I noticed that somebody had tried to duct tape it up to the body of the car.
How far do we have to get? Oh, there we go. So I had to hit the brakes pretty hard to get the analog just now to kind of kick in. And finally got traction. So it actually takes a little bit to get those systems to engage, which just tells me that this car has got great tires on it. Or, you know, it actually is just designed to handle these conditions pretty well. We're going to talk about the worst car that I've ever owned. Let's get that lady over there to look at me. Yeah. It wasn't that good though. Rev it, baby! I'll do that. His new 2011 Chevrolet Cruze LS.
Happy New Year.
This is the first time that I'm actually looking at it. It's actually like a really, really dark blue. Very nice color. It is freezing out here today, by the way. It's really cold. Yeah, it definitely takes off better than the other one. In my opinion, yeah. We're gonna go take a look at a 1997 Dodge Intrepid. It is near immaculate condition. It's a 97, it's got about 40-some thousand miles on it. But this car is clean. I cannot believe how nice this car is. This is the last year, I believe, for this generation Intrepid. The 98 Intrepid introduced the much more circular, round Intrepid. I bet these are cup holders. Yep. Look at that. That's cool. Wow. I'm loving this car. This is amazing. This is a classic to me. I'm going to spend probably almost the entire day with my mom's 04 Chevrolet Malibu Classic. You can see all the crap coming out of it already. Ooh, look at that. It's definitely lighter. Corners are kind of hard to get to. I tried to get the corners as best I could, but compared to this side, you can see the, the stains and such. Alright, so the outside is pretty much done, and I just finished applying the spray wax and drying everything off, including trying to clean up some of the dust from under the hood. Look at that, you can see the difference. You can see the difference big time. So after 2 days, the car is done. She shines. We're going to change out the transmission fluid. The reason why I'm going to change the transmission fluid is because I've actually noticed a change in the transmission shifts over this past winter. I might have a leak of some sort, probably coming from the transmission. Now this is news to me. Ooh, that is black. Okay, so this is probably still the original fluid, so I'm really glad we are doing this. Wait till you see what difference in color this fluid looks like compared to what came out of this transmission. Look at that, see? It's got a cherry color to it. The Fiestas come equipped with the 6-speed power shift transmission. I'll explain in greater detail exactly what the power shift transmission does and how it functions. My vlog topic today is going to be talking about something on our cars that we don't really think about. We don't think about at all until we actually need them. And I'm here to talk about how, you know, when you're not really using them, how you really should pay a little more attention to them if you don't already. And it's probably one of the most boring things on a car, if not the most boring. And it's probably one of the most boring things to ever talk about. But today, we're going to talk about windshield wipers. We have this front fender, and if you can kind of see in the light, something happened to this fender, and nobody seems to know what happened. But it just kind of looks like somebody took like a sheet of sandpaper or something. It's even along the edge here, and they just sanded down, you know, the clear coat or something. So the paint in several spots is actually coming off, and it actually gets worse and worse every time I see this car. So right here is the existing, or the replacement panel, and it's the same color. I'm not sure what year it came off of, but it is the same color. Huh. All right.
Did you wash it?
No.
Michael! Oh my gosh! It's brand new!
And I was looking at this Alero, this Silver Mist metallic Alero with the neutral color scheme on the inside. It was a really clean car. I just remember the first time driving this Alero, I was thinking, this is the car. This is the one that I have to have. So I had finally gotten my new car, and I had never been so happy with anything that I had driven up until, you know, that point. The Alero was just it was an amazing car. And the Alero proved to be an amazing car in the many years to come. So the Alero, when we bought it, had 117,000 miles on the odometer. So it was already 5 years old, and it had a high mileage on it. It came from Pennsylvania, so I'm not exactly sure what the history on the car was. I'm pretty sure it might have been a fleet vehicle with the amount of mileage that was on this car. A lot of other things here and there that, you know, the body was actually starting to fall apart, like moldings were coming apart.
Yep, this is where she's gonna stay. So again, You are a wonderful car, and we will definitely miss you. I'm roasting. And the sun's coming out too.
I thought I was the only one.
So this place, I get so excited when we come here because they have just about anything that you need media-wise. So this is the entire rock section of the exchange for CDs. And the metal's behind me. The records are down there, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff there. But this is why this place is awesome, for this entire wall alone. I just want to kind of say, it's like everybody at one point in their lives, I'm sure, has had a Taurus. We're going to Columbus.
Becca's getting married. Becca's getting married.
Who's Becca?
My best friend.
Lodi.
Lodi.
It's Lodi. Is it really Lodi?
I think it is.
Well, we made it to Columbus. We are here at the Red Roof Inn. We're getting ready to head over to the venue to do some of the other wedding stuff, pictures and whatnot. The wedding's actually not until later on this evening, but this is me all dressed up, something that people don't see too often.
You may kiss your bride.
Things that I always remember is describing this guy who I would marry, and she would describe the guy that she would marry. And when I met my husband now, he is quite a bit like the description that I had. And he's actually sitting right there in the black with the blue tie, videotaping me right now. Very attractive, probably blushing. And I couldn't wait for Becca to meet him, because we knew who he was before I met him. So that's why when she found Paul, I couldn't wait to meet him, because I knew that we found them.
Recessed in the bumper, so you kind of have to like try to pry it back as much as you can to get the actual lenses out. Yep, so the hard part is pulling the lens out because this end usually gets tucked in here, so you have to basically pry this as far as you can while using your other hand to try and pull this part out of the little, there's a little thing in there. This thing, it tucks in there. Yep, this whole thing here. And that'll be the fun part. Once this is over top, you know, we get the fluid in there and stuff, you're gonna need two hands, and I think we're just gonna have to compress. Using that, we're gonna have to compress all of the air out of this. Oh my word, it's done. First thing we need to do is kind of take a flathead screwdriver or such and carefully just try to pry this ring off for the ignition, like so. And then you can try to grab it. Some people like to use like those little flat tools and such, but so you could just kind of grab it within, and it kind of comes off pretty easily. So just carefully try to just pry it around, put your foot on the brake, and then just put the gear selector into another gear, and that's it. And you want to unhook your antenna. Sometimes this, yeah, those can be in there quite good. And then the one wiring harness, just by pushing in on those tabs and wiggling it out of place. And that's how you remove your stereo from your Chevy Malibu. It's right there. We're still leaking transmission fluid. And the kicker is everything was put together. I drove it home that night. When we filled it all up and stuff, nothing had been leaking. Everything was still in good working shape. Yeah, right along the side you can see where it's coming from. It's like running down the case and dripping off of that thing. The outer seal is not sitting right, so all of the fluid is leaking back out as the car's being driven or these wheels are turned. And so we have to tear this all out again. Okay, so our shaft and such is still in good shape. Didn't destroy it, you know, coming out. So now we just gotta find out where we went wrong with the seal. Getting rid of one stressor can actually do a lot of good for you in your life. So that's kind of where I was going with a little bit of this video as far as making this and having a message in it, because you know there are actually a lot of people who don't take depression seriously, and I know a lot of people who have depression, and you know, there are either people who suffer from it and they don't want to get the help because they're kind of afraid to get help. There's also people who I know who have gotten help and they're just a million times better. You know, and at some point I had to get the help for it to try and cope with everything that I was dealing with as far as, you know, my stressors. And in this case, it turned out to be my job. Cool. Work harassment questions. I don't really know where that question's going. But if you or somebody you know is experiencing work harassment, you should probably notify your management team immediately. We're going to do the oil change procedure. And not only will we be doing the oil change, but we will also be changing the air filter as well. All right. Not too messy. We'll let that drain out. And then it gets loose enough. Yeah, there we go. To hand do it. Voila.
Wow.
In my opinion, you just kind of fight with it a little bit, raise it up, and the filter comes right out. So you can kind of see that we are definitely due for a new filter. Building's behind me, so I have to get back to Ohio, but I just thought that that'd be kind of cool to throw into one of these vlogs. I don't know what vlog this is going to go in, but I am at the dealership that has been seen on another YouTube channel, and if you follow Autovlog, then you know exactly where I'm at. So this is actually footage I'm pretty sure that my father had filmed either the day we brought it home or a couple of days shortly after, because it did have temporary tag on the back, which makes this video even more awesome. Just the fact that this is being filmed as the van was still very new to us and still very new in general. You can see the color of this MPV is like this dark maroon, and a lot of pictures that I've seen from this
you know, while trying to actually look things up with the MPV, was in this color. So this might have been one of the more common colors. For this car being a 1990, it's actually a really good looking vehicle. Let's give it up for my very first pair of glasses. That is the very first pair of glasses that I ever had.
Ugh, that's been driving me crazy for days.
I'm just going to kind of give you my honest pros and cons of owning the 2011 Ford Escape XLT. Before I go into this list, I honestly don't have a whole lot to complain about when it comes to this car. And today I figured I would give you the pros and cons of the latest addition to our vehicle family, which is this 2015 Ford Fiesta SE. I actually got in it this time. The 93 button is lit up, and I'm thinking, I find it strange, extremely strange now, that this has happened to me twice, where it goes to the 93 octane when I'm not wanting to pay for the 93.
And this one here is, while it's not perfect, it is very clean. It's nearly immaculate on the inside. It almost smells new too. It's amazing. And how many miles is on it? 34,656 miles. This thing sounds beautiful. Brand new. Well, close to new.
The worst thing that I found out today was that one of my fellow co-workers at my last job unfortunately passed away last night, and that was actually the first thing that I found out today. So, you know, regardless of what else happened after that, I mean, the whole day just was off balance. But just knowing that somebody who I really enjoyed, you know, talking to and such at one, well, when I worked there anyway, I haven't seen her since, but yeah, I don't know what happened, but unfortunately she passed away. They happened to be the third row seats to a Pontiac Montana minivan. I always wanted to have furniture that were made out of vehicle seats. You know, almost the 6-month mark. I'm just gonna do it. The car is essentially still brand new in my opinion, and I just feel like I should just change it now and get it over with. All right. All right, there we go. Not bad. That was not bad. As bad as I was expecting.
This is actually putting a damper on a lot of my projects at this time. But as soon as I go to hit record, I get a data error and the camera shuts off. So I have a feeling that the internal hard drive has failed me. Oh man. Alright, it's broke. My awesome brother Tyler graciously allowed me to use his little camera that I'm using right now to film this. He said that I can use this for as long as I need to until I actually replace the camera that I use all the time. So very, very special thanks to Tyler Adams Vlogs. Today I'm actually going to show you, if I were to get a new Escape, what my ideal Escape would be like. If I were to get a new Escape, this is probably the one that I would want to have.
Now what I did was I came here today and I kind of scoped out all of these Ford Escape SE models, because the SE trim is what is equivalent to the old XLT trim. As far as my cosmetic choices, this is what I would choose. Little, why is all this stuff happening to me all of a sudden? Why am I not having any luck with my electronics? You don't care. You are a cat. So, there's the boot up screen and missing operating system, and no matter what I try to do, I get nothing. Here's what I came up with, and it's not finished completely, but it is off the ground. As of right now, it's actually a little higher than I wanted it to be.
I went downstairs, so that scared me.
So a little while ago, somebody commented on one of my videos and actually said that they didn't want to see my cat. And I don't understand why, because my cat is awesome.
The reason why I want to talk about this is because I do feel like there are a lot of people out there who either don't really understand how to, you know, take care of a vehicle, or there are people out there who just completely neglect to take care of the vehicle. I don't really understand the neglect part. I don't know why anybody would want to neglect maintenance on such an expensive item. Like, your vehicle is usually, you know, one of the more expensive things that you're ever going to invest in.
So, why do they look like this? Today's July 2nd, and I have been without an actual camera and without studio software now for a couple weeks, and it's honestly killing me. I think that's why I got the chairs done, is because I really don't have anything else to work on. So now I just don't know what to do with myself. Apparently I'm turning into a carpenter. I was messing with my old camera and I did discover something very interesting, and it does kind of make me happy. Surprisingly enough, I was kind of messing with it, and if I change the camera from HD quality to standard quality, so if I do standard quality and then hit record, it actually records. It's working perfectly fine right now. It is just not recording in high definition. As you can see, they are built, but they have finally been cut down to size. So these are the finished product that I have. I'll tell you what though, my cat has been strongly addicted to these seats ever since I brought him up, so he seems to be enjoying them. One thing that we are going to do today, and I'm really ashamed to say this, is we're going to clean out the inside of my car. And I can't even stand to look inside of my car no longer. It is probably at the worst that it has ever been. I cannot stand it when there's dirt, stuff on my mats. Gotta get these out of here. Oh, no, 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 no. No, no, no. Something sticky got on here. It is sticky and I can't stand it. And every time the car is in drive or whatever, and when you go to move the shifter, it makes like a gross noise. Like, you know it's sticky. Like it reminds you every time. So occasionally when working at the car dealership now, there's usually a lot of cars that end up coming here that are strictly for scrap. this here truck, and that minivan, and this Stratus, and even this 03 Pontiac Aztek. It's got 215,238 miles on it. Now honestly, I don't know if it runs. The key is in it, but I was in it a little bit earlier and nothing turns on, so either the battery's dead or there's no battery at all. As you can see, she's heavily wounded up front. How do you get the ceiling dirty? Like, I just want to know the history of who had this car and whatnot, but oh man. Oh, she runs good. She's got a little squeak. I am actually coming to you from Columbus yet again. This is the second vlog that has taken place here in Columbus, Ohio. And it's still coming down. Whew, all those weather alerts. Oh man, guys, it's times like this where I really wish at some point in my life I have or hope to plan on investing in an umbrella. The clouds over there are eerie too. Oh, I saw the bolt in there. I saw the bolt in their window in the mirror. Oh, so that was probably like right above us. Did you get that? Sweet. Well, guys, today was the day. I went with the Sony HDR CX40 440 Handycam, and you know, as you can see, it's going to be quite similar to my existing camera. This is it. I am filming with the new camera right now, and if we actually sit in the car, oh yes. Yes, this is what I've wanted. This is what I've wanted for a long time. This is a good angle. I like this. There is one car that I started to film and I never got to finish. They gave me permission to go ahead and film this car. The only problem with it at the time was that it did not have a good battery, and the battery, I don't know if there was just something wrong with it or if it was just completely dead, but regardless, I couldn't really do anything with it. I couldn't start it up, and I barely had enough power to even honestly get into the car. And plus it was in the warehouse. We couldn't drive it out. From the angle you couldn't push it out. So I just figured I was going to try to make the best out of this situation, because here in front of me is this 2010 Dodge Viper ACR. Especially on the inside when the battery is dead and stuff. There's no lighting, you know, so it's dark. And, you know, again, I was trying to look past that. And my ex-girlfriend was with me and she was being obnoxious. I was honestly just kind of getting frustrated. Like, I was halfway through the shoot and I turned the camera off and I was like, I don't know if I feel like doing this. This is just not going to be a good video if I keep doing it this way. We've had the car for quite a while now, since January, so I mean we're over the 7-month mark, over half a year, and had to take it into the shop for something today. I'm actually here looking at this car that I may consider actually purchasing. No surprise at all. So this here is a 2004 Pontiac Aztek, and this one actually is in pretty good shape. It's got a couple of you know, blemishes up at the front bumper. No big deal. I mean, you're not going to find one of these in perfect condition, I can tell you that much. But look at the wheels. They cleaned up the wheels a little bit. So it feels good to sit inside of this car yet again. This one, by the way, has 132,942 miles on it. So for it being an 04, that actually is not that bad. And this thing is quiet. All the stuff is here, including the original window stickers. So whoever had this vehicle, they were probably the original owners. It sounds good. Like I said, there's no obnoxious kick or anything. Oh man, this is great. I'm so happy driving this. Like, I'm so excited that I got to take it out. It's been a couple of days since I brought the other one to you, the other video about this specific Aztek here. And yes, I am seriously looking into purchasing it. And I don't know, I'm still working with trying to see what the numbers are gonna be, and just kind of, you know, other miscellaneous things, trying to see if I could even honestly come up with the funds for this vehicle. It's not going to be easy, especially since I have obviously two open loans already on two other cars. And I don't have the extra cash to just pull out of my pocket and get this one.
Oh no. So this can't be good.
I don't have my clothes on! Are you vlogging? You think we missed this so much?
I brought this back for you though.
See? Like, that's... Now I feel like we're gonna vlog together. Let's go, let's go check out this car. I'm gonna put my socks back on. You can watch me do that. Literally, it was all the way up, and it was slow, but it went back down to normal, like, fast.
I don't know. I'm thinking it's either the thermostat, or by chance, since you had the air on, it puts more heat on the engine, you know, more strain.
I mean, that's...
The fan didn't work for a second.
I don't know. Oh boy, what is that?
You got a rat's nest in there.
Oh no. Oh.
It's a good thing I took that off.
No.
Flip up, I was like, that's not good.
What? Unreal. That's a nest? You think it's a nest?
It's a nest, yeah. Something's been...
Or is it just a giant... Dude, it looks like there's like bone and stuff in there.
It's a nest.
Oh, the pressure's gone.
Oh, there it is. Oh, you got a head gasket issue. Oh, man. It is all gunked up in there.
So
that's going to explain the sticking thermostat. I bet that's what that is. And that stuff's all in there. Hopefully.
It looks fairly clean.
Yeah.
Get some of that rat stuff out of there. Hello? Hey. Is it not dinner time? Like, do they not know? Because usually they're out.
He likes the carrots.
Alright guys, another day has come and gone. This is turning into a really, the waiting game is basically what it is now. So, I went to the bank yesterday and I talked to, somebody about financing a small amount of money for the Aztec. And as of right now, we're just waiting. And like I said, I already have 2 open car loans out, so it's kind of iffy because there's already money going toward 2 other vehicles.
It's Monday morning to be exact. I got a call from the dealership. The bill of sale is complete and ready for me to pick up and take to the bank. So that's where we're going. And in a very short time, I'm going to find out whether or not I am bringing home this Aztec today.
Here I am with the opportunity to purchase a 2004 Pontiac Aztec in champagne beige metallic with 132,000 miles on the clock. It looks good for its age, but does it perform well for it? I drove it for a whole hour without any issue other than noticing some minor rear brake drum noise and a broken gas gauge. Yet, I was very pleased with it. I felt good being back in the driver's seat of the Aztec, remembering exactly how comfortable and quiet the ride is, as well as how responsive the handling reacts to my commands. I've anxiously been waiting for days and days to know if I was able to get a loan out on this vehicle. Due to other circumstances that surround this vehicle and my 2 other current auto loans, I wasn't able to find out right away if I am taking home what would be my second Aztec ownership. Until now.
But she hasn't really driven the car a whole lot. The last time I did the oil change and added the seafoam to it was back this past December. And I bet the oil in this car probably only has 1,000 miles on it. So it is overdue if you're looking at the time consistency. But if you're going by the mileage, it hasn't been used enough. So we're going to just change it today. And then we're going to add some fresh oil and seafoam to it. But I'm really anxious to see how the oil looks with only at least 1,000 miles on it. 104,000 miles. 902 miles on the oil. So this will be interesting to see what it looks like only after 902 miles. Whew. It's pretty black. Well, I don't know. That is impressive. Maybe the seafoam's getting down to it. Yeah. So that seafoam being in there that long for the past few months is probably, I'm assuming, cleaning it out, because that's really dark for only 900 miles. Oh ho ho, look at all that. So what we did is we also wiped around the outside and the top of where the oil filter sits. As you can see, it's all sparkly and clean just from wiping it down with a shop towel. And I also cleaned up around the where the cap goes and stuff. I always try to clean up around that area because all that sludge and stuff sits there for a very long time. Ooh, look how good that cleaned up with the seafoam on it. Woohoo! Look at that. Cleaned up all that down there. Wow, that's good stuff. This is kind of going off of the response that I've seen on the 2003 Pontiac Aztec video that I filmed.
This was the Aztek that was designated for scrap. It was purchased at an auction, and it ended up going to the scrapyard just because of how poorly the shape and such was. It ran really good, which is disappointing. Hopefully the engine and stuff can be saved in that, but the rest of the car I think was just pretty much trashed. I decided to try something different, and just because of the response to the older used cars, the ones that look like they've been put through abuse and all that stuff, it looks like it actually got a lot of good response. A lot of people are interested to seeing these types of vehicles, and I was able to get a bunch of keys for some cars that have been sitting back here that were either just recently traded in and they haven't been gone through any sort of detailing, or don't even know if they're going to be for sale or not. So I got a couple of those in here, and I also have a couple of scrap vehicles too that were also from the auction, and they may not even run. I don't even know. It's got power. Does it have the keys? Keys probably not here. Darn. Spare tires in the back. The odometer was... Ooh. Actually, I think there's bees all over that car, so we're just going to walk away from that one. Because this is a 98 Ford F-150. And it looks like it's been through all kinds of fun. Whoa. And it does. It may have no brakes though, judging from the look of the brake and anti-lock light. Sounds like a pretty smooth running truck though for how kind of condition it's in. Okay, so I've yet found another Aztek to show you guys. It's amazing that they have all been kind of just showing up recently, but this one was just brought in either earlier today or possibly on Saturday. This is probably going to be the nicest one we're going to see. So this is a 2005 Pontiac Aztek Rally, and you don't see the Rallies often. I know it's not, again, going to be in the best shape, but from what I've heard about it, it's supposed to be, should be the nicest one that we're going to see. Take one more look at this 05 Pontiac Aztek Rally. This was the one that was featured in the previous vlog. Just recently traded in. It's only been at the dealership for just a few days. Hadn't even been touched yet. It's not even for sale yet. So I figured I'd take the opportunity to see if I can bring it home for a little bit. And even though I'm not purchasing this Aztek or any other Aztek in the near future, one of the videos that I wanted to make if I did get one was an Aztek appreciation video, because there aren't many of those out there at all. You open it up, and of course you've got a couple of storage trays inside. You've got a place for your CDs and your coins, but as you can see, all of this comes out. And once it's taken out, it looks like an insulated cooler. Oh wait, that's because it is an insulated cooler. What I have for you today is a 1996 Buick Century, and yeah, this one's actually in fairly good shape. The inside's actually really clean. So as you can tell, we've got the blue fabric that matches the outside of the car, and it has traction control, analog brakes. There we go. Very simple gauge cluster. As you can see, 111,000 miles on the odometer. Seems like it'd be a pretty nice car to drive.
So this thing had a tragic ending. This was a Mini Cooper. Obviously he got hit somehow and then went up in flames. So, I mean, it went up in flames. This is an 05. Yeah, I think it says 05.
Is going to be based on the anniversary of my ownership with this 2011 Ford Escape XLT. And the anniversary is actually going to be in just a few days, but I figured I would just kind of make the video now. So it's just a few days away, 2 years, and so far overall, much like the first year, I am still very, very pleased with this vehicle.
It was, from what you can see here, with one of the only few stills that I can find of the car, a couple of stills here. The car was like this dark blue color, which was not a bad color. I did like the color. The body of the car was in pretty decent shape. I don't remember there being too much rust or anything like that. The inside, I honestly hated the inside of this car, but not necessarily the way the car was set up. I did like the interior of the car very much. It was the color, and the color was also blue. It was blue everywhere. Trying to surprise my mom with her birthday gift that following year. We had a little surprise party. Some friends of ours, you know, we had this whole thing planned where, you know, I took her car to school and she took my car for the day, and I made up some excuse to you know, let me have the car. But I took the car to my friend's house and I put in a CD player for her.
We're going to take one last look at the 2003 Dodge Intrepid SXT. I know she is deeply saddened, very sad actually, that she decided to get rid of this car. She really liked this car. It was her first big commitment as an adult, getting this car. This was her first big girl purchase. It's a 2008 Jeep Patriot Limited. So this is her new 2008 Jeep Patriot Limited. And I don't know if she really wanted specifically a Patriot, but needless to say, she always wanted something from the Jeep brand. Driving the Patriot isn't bad at all. Like I said, it's got pep for it being a 4-cylinder, and you know, kind of like what I told my sister, you know, engines in the 5 years between this car and her car have come a long way. So, you know, this being a 4-cylinder still has just as much get-up, almost as much get-up as the Intrepid. So again, this is a 2011 Ford Fiesta SES. This one here in particular is the 5-door hatchback. This one here has 276,000 miles on it, going on 277. That's pretty amazing. 276,000 miles worth of butts sitting in the seat. No tears from the looks of it. You got your you know, your usual cracks. Same with that one there.
Of course, the wrinkle spots and whatnot, but no tears. So even though my Escape is a 2011 and this Mercury Mariner is a 2009, they are both the same generation. It's so weird because it has the same driving position, only it's like driving my car in an alternate universe. It's so strange because it's exactly like my car, but it's not. So here is a 2004 Jaguar X-Type. I've always liked these cars too. I was more so a fan of the S-Type, but this is kind of like a smaller version of the S-Type. So let's go ahead and give this one a shot. The buttons are worn out, can't figure out which one's which. Jaguar keys are so weird. Look at that. 66,271 miles. Wow, that ain't bad. Let's see how it runs. Not too bad. Brake lights on. Ooh, very, very spongy brakes. So there's probably no brakes on this thing. It's a 2002 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. Like I said in my the first video that I did the other day, I really like these Grand Cherokees. This here is my ideal Grand Cherokee if I were to own one. However, they're so old now, I probably will never own one. You can tell it just needs a good cleaning. There really wasn't a whole lot wrong with the inside. Last time I saw it, the seats are still in pretty good shape, no tears. Like I said, they just need cleaned. Okay, so I got a jump box. As you can see, the hood doesn't stand up anymore, but the battery's on. The lights are so dim, so this will be interesting. This battery's probably completely shot. Yeah, not much. There we go. There's one Pontiac that I've never got my hands on until today. And I don't even know if I can really call it a Pontiac. I mean, it's just more so like a Toyota, I guess. So, what I have here is a 2005 Pontiac Vibe. And just looking at the font on the controls, this is more so a Toyota font. Like all of the controls other than like the stereo and stuff are probably all designed by Toyota. Okay, here we go. So this one most likely has an exhaust leak somewhere. 168,473 miles.
Nice road. That's one of Chelsea's pictures. I gotta get those out of there.
$1995 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. Completely missing the entire front bumper. Paint is bad. This is part of the very first generation Grand Cherokee. Yes, it does. So how about a 1982 Buick Century? Holy crap. A 1982 Buick Century. It actually looks very similar to the 96 that I filmed the one day. No, 65,000 miles, unless the odometer quit working. That 6th digit is still at a 0, so that's impressive.
That's an old 3-liter engine right there.
So this is a 1996 Chevy Blazer LT. It is a 4-door, and this was pretty much the exact same car as the GMC Jimmy. So the cool thing about this is this is actually pretty close to what my uncle's Jimmy was. His was a 97, so there really wasn't a whole lot of differences in the styling other than just the front grille was different. It obviously had the GMC logo in the center instead of the bow tie. The Jimmy was my very first time in an SUV, so it's the car that kind of got me hooked on being in an SUV, and it's always been a personal favorite of mine. Oh. It's like as soon as we go into the start position, we're losing it. Holy crap! Wow, and it sounds good. It sounds like it's running really well. But 4 light sockets. This one here is the turn signal socket. This one here is the reverse light socket. And these 2 down here are the stop and tail light sockets. This one on hers is completely corroded out. It is not working at all anymore. And this is the one that just recently burned out. So I don't know if this one's related to a bad bulb. But regardless, this whole thing, because like I said, the water would get up to like, you know, it would it would soak these 2 bulbs. So here we are under the light. This is the bulb socket that completely quit working. That one there wasn't far behind. You can see the rust on the inside of, you know, that contact inside of there. Oh my word. Oh no. Oh, I really hope that pin is not in that. Oh no. So over to the right side, of course, it has the specs of this 04 Pontiac Aztek. It does have a VIN number. And looking at the VIN number right away, just from the beginning, I do know that that is an Aztek VIN number. So they have an Aztek VIN, and I did do kind of a generic search on that VIN number, and yes, it came up as a Pontiac Aztek, and this Aztek is actually registered in the state that this ad came from. So it does go to show that maybe they do have a Pontiac Aztek that they're selling. It could also say that maybe they just went up to an Aztek in somebody's driveway or parking lot, took a picture of the VIN, and they're throwing the VIN on Craigslist to make it seem more authentic. I don't know. I can't really trust this because my picture is on the ad. It's the first picture on the ad. So I don't know what these people are selling. Right there. And it's got a pretty good view right now of that pulley with the night vision on. So we'll go ahead and carefully try to turn this one on.